Welcome to your season showdown update for NCAA Football 10. My name is Nate Lundy. Let's start talking about how the rankings look after 2 weeks of college football matchups for the season showdown. Top of the ranks, everybody's moving around once again. There is a new number one. That's right, the USC Trojans with their big win over then number 2 Ohio State gets them up to the top. The Trojans this week, of course, taking on the Huskies of Washington. We'll see whether that's enough to keep them at number 1. I mentioned some more changes. There's a new number 2. How about Michigan taking over number 2 as the Wolverines got the win over Notre Dame in real life and also propelled themselves up to number 2 thanks to the win in season showdown over Notre Dame as well. Michigan, problem is this week they're playing Eastern Michigan. I don't know whether or not that's going to be enough for them to try to overtake USC at number 1. We'll have to wait and see what happens. How about some other big ones? Somebody else eyeing that number 1 ranking, the Florida Gators. They want to be able to do it as well. They took care of business against Troy. Now they set their sights on one of our marquee matchups of the week, the Volunteers of Tennessee. So Florida possibly trying to jump up there, take over number 1 with USC. Looking forward to that one. Florida State, by the way, dropping from number 1 to number 4 because they took on an FCS opponent. That's right. Some of those cakewalk games don't count a lot for you in season showdown. So Florida State winds up dropping down. They're still in the top 5 at number 4, but they've got to get back on track against some bigger opponents, rack up some more points as well. Now, rounding out the top 10, Texas, Virginia Tech, Georgia, LSU, Oregon, and the Ohio State Buckeyes, who fell down to that number 10 spot. Now, I mentioned the Florida and Tennessee matchup. A few other huge matchups for this week. How about Virginia Tech taking on my Nebraska Cornhuskers? Watch out for that one. Also, Miami and Georgia Tech. Notre Dame trying to take out the aggression after the loss. They will be taking that out on number 29, Michigan State. Also, Cal and Minnesota coming in down there in the lower 20s, number 25 and number 30, respectively. They'll be mixing it up. That game should go seesawing back and forth, both of them trying to creep up into that top 20. Texas Tech looking for another major upset against Texas. We all know what happened last year on the real field. Let's see what happens in season showdown. And another big one to watch, I think this one might actually be really entertaining. How about West Virginia and Auburn? That's another one that I think is going to be big. And don't forget, it's not just about what you do in the console. It's about logging on to seasonshowdown.easports.com and rack up those points for allies and rivals, and also do the same thing with the trivia challenge. All right, seasonshowdown.easports.com. That's your update. We've gone through 2 weeks. Week 3 of the college football season on the way. My name is Nate Lundy. On behalf of Coke Zero, this is your season showdown update.